would you defend your husband? Like, if he was on trial for murder, would you defend your husband if the person that he was on trial for murdering was his mistress that you had no idea, like, anything about? I was going to make my go-to breakfast, which is an everything bagel toasted with cream cheese, fig jam, and extra crispy bacon. But I remember we had family over yesterday and there's lots of leftover food in the fridge. So why make things difficult when we can make things easy? We are just going to warm up some leftover food, and that is how we're gonna start our day. I am casually chilling today on this Monday. We're gonna get as much reading done as I can. I really want to finish the book that I'm reading. I'm reading One by One by Frida McFadden. If you guys follow me on TikTok, then you know how obsessed I've been with my girl Frida. Like, all of her books, I don't know what she puts in them, but I cannot put them down. And when I put them down, all I'm thinking about is the book. And then, like, while I'm reading them, I'm going through the book and I'm highlighting things like, okay, this person seems suspicious because of this reason. And then, like, I'm always telling my mom about it and I'm telling my friends about it. And it's just like, I can't stop talking about it. I can't stop reading it. Like, Frida McFadden, I don't know what you put in your books, but please don't ever stop. I'm actually scared that I'm going to be all caught up on her books and have nothing to read. So what I've been doing is reading one of her books and then reading another book and then going back to her books. Like, I don't want to read her books back to back because I'm scared I'm going to run out. How ridiculous is that? She puts crack in those things. So I'm gonna read that. It's also been long overdue for me to, like, give you guys a rundown on the books that I have read these last couple months, because I've always liked reading, but since I've gotten my Kindle, I have been on, like, a next level of reading. I've never read, like, this much ever, and I've always really liked reading, and I've never read this much ever. It's been 2 months since I've had my Kindle, and I think I've already read like 15 books. Maybe that's dramatic. Maybe it's not 15, maybe 12. I don't know. Let's eat first. I'm gonna eat my food and then we will go through those together. We'll see how many books we read and I will let you guys know how I feel about each of those books. Side note before I do that, how cute are these little wreaths? Like, I feel like there's never enough, like, Christmassy in the kitchen. Like, I feel like I have not been able to master the Christmas kitchen. And even though these are just 2 wreaths on the cupboard, I feel like it just says Merry Christmas, you know? I should show you guys actually all that I've decorated. If you follow me on TikTok, you've already seen, but I'll take you guys on like a little tour. I don't want to call it a tour, but I'll show you guys like the little things that I have already decorated for Christmas, because it's my favorite season, and I just love walking in to Christmas feeling homes. Like, it's my favorite. This is what we're eating: mac pie, saltfish, dumpling, and we're gonna devour this while we read our book, and then I'm gonna come back and let you guys know how many books I've actually read since getting this Kindle. Also, I just wanted to show you guys, look at the tragedy that happened to my slipper. It was really small at first and I thought it was fine, and now it's a lot bigger and I keep nearly ending my life every single time I walk. So it's probably time for some new slippers, I guess. I don't want to let these ones go though. They're so comfy and broken in, and I just, I don't want new slippers. I like these ones. I don't want to let them go. Today was supposed to be a chill and read my book, edit kind of day, but then my niece just called me and asked me if I wanted to go to the mall. And like, what do I look like saying no to a mall venture? Let's talk about my Kindle, guys. I have been raving about my Kindle since I've gotten it, and really quickly, I just want to tell you guys what I like most about Kindle and why I have become a Kindle girly. I used to be one of those girls that says, like, I have to have the physical copy of a book. I used to be like that. I used to want to, like, feel the book in my hands, and I used to feel like I wasn't really reading unless I had the physical book in my hand. But I feel so differently now that I have a Kindle, because with the Kindle, you can read anywhere, anytime. If the car is dark and you're driving, you can still read. If you're laying in bed and you don't feel like having a light on, you can still read. It's just like the convenience of it is unmatched. On top of the convenience of it, buying books and just having access to them all on your library it's amazing. First of all, they're more affordable than buying them in the store. So like if you're gonna go buy a $20 book in the store, you can probably find it for $14 on the Kindle app. And also there's a lot of books that are free, and there's a lot of books that are like $3. So I have been like raving about my girl Frida McFadden, and her books are so good. And all of her books have been like under $5. So I'm just like burning through these books for so many reasons, because it's so easy to read them. I can read them like in the middle of the night if I wake up in the middle of the night and I don't have to put a light on. And also I love that when I'm done a book, I don't have to go into the store and like go search for another book. I literally just finish reading and then I download and buy a new book. So it's just been continuous, and that's why I've been saying that I've been reading so much since I've gotten it. I'm gonna count these books right now and see how much I actually have read. Okay, so I have read So I'm on my 14th book right now, and I got my Kindle the first week of September. So it is the second week of November now. So it's been a little over 2 months, and I have read 14 books, and that is a lot for me. Like I would usually read like one book a month, and I would consider myself like reading, but I have been reading nonstop since this Kindle, and like this isn't sponsored at all, but like I rave about Kindle to anybody that will listen, because it truly blows my mind how much more I've been reading, how much less screen time. Well, I guess it is technically still screen time, so that's not good. It's not like the blue light or anything like that, and there's like a dark mode or a night mode that you can put it on. But I've been doing less screen time like on social media and on my phone. Like since having this Kindle, it's dropped significantly, because before I would just find myself just scrolling on social media whenever I was like sitting at home and like bored for like 2 minutes, and now it's like any second I have, I'm picking up my Kindle and I'm reading. Also, I really love the fact that the battery life is so good. I probably charge this like I said, I've read 14 books since September, and I probably charged this maybe like 4 or 5 times since then. So like the battery lasts a really long time, and I love that, because nothing would be worse than going to pick up your Kindle and then it was dead and then you couldn't read. I also love that you can highlight things while you're reading them. So if you're reading, you just click and hold and then drag and highlight a passage, and then there's a little button at the top of your book where you can click it, and then you can see all of your highlighted passage in order of the book. And I find that really useful, because I'm always trying to like summarize my book. Like if I'm telling my mom or telling anybody about my books, I always try to summarize them, and I feel like it's really useful to have all of those points there so that I can remember each part of the book, especially since I've been on like my psychological thriller little kick. You know, when you're reading and you come across a word that you've never seen before, and like sometimes like you'll make a mental note like, okay, like I'm gonna look that word up, or like sometimes you just completely skip over it. You kind of like think that you get the gist of it, but like I like to like know what these words mean, and I really like that how you can just click and hold on the word and it tells you what the definition is. It's just reading made easier, reading made more fun. I am a Kindle girly, a Kindle stan. I am here for the Kindles. So let me tell you guys what 12 books I read. I'll go through them really quickly and I'll just rate them 1 through 5, and I'll give you like a general gist of what the book was about. The very first book that I read on Kindle was A Little Life by, I don't want to butcher her name, but Hanya Yanagihara. This book, I was hearing about it all over TikTok, and people were like giving me such raw emotions about it. People were saying that they were crying for days. People were saying that they couldn't help thinking about the characters in the book in their real everyday life, one in particular. And I was like, I was seeing so many videos on it that I'm like, I need to read this. Like, I need to feel these emotions as well. Very quickly, I'm gonna go through these books. I'm getting distracted. A Little Life, I would rate that a 5 out of 5. It like had me so engaged the entire time. It was a pretty lengthy book, but I could not put it down. It's about 3 guys living in New York City. One of them has like a pretty bad disability, and he had like a very, very messed up childhood. It tugs on the heartstrings. Like, you find yourself thinking like, can we get a break? You know what I mean? The second book that I read was My Temptation by T.L. Swan. That book, completely different. It was a spicy read. If you guys like erotica, this was a good one. It was about this girl that started dating this guy, and she went on one date with him, and then he ghosted her even though the date was amazing. And then you come to find out that like he just has like commitment issues. There's a lot of like really steamy scenes, and yes, so I would rate that one. I would probably give that one a 4 out of 5. It was an easy read and it was spicy, so we like that. The next book I read was The Perfect Marriage. This was the first psychological novel that I read, and after reading this, I went down a spiral of psychological thrillers. I would say I would give this book like a 4.5 out of 5. It was really good. I couldn't stop reading it. It is about a husband and wife. The wife is a district attorney. The husband is having an affair. The person that he's having an affair with ends up dead in his bed, and he gets his wife to defend him. What? You already know. You already know that is crazy. Would you defend your husband? Like, if he was on trial for murder, would you defend your husband if the person that he was on trial for murdering was his mistress that you had no idea like anything about? It's like, it's crazy because it's like you don't want him to go to jail, but it's like, sir, you were literally cheating on me. So like, what do you do? Honestly, really good book. Would recommend. Almost everything I've read since then has been a psychological thriller. This was my first Frida McFadden book, The Inmate. 5 out of 5. It kept me guessing the entire way through. And like the ending, let me tell you about a twist. I was just kept gasping towards the end because there was so many twists, and it was really good. 5 out of 5. The next book I read was The Silent Patient by Alex Michaelides. This one was good. I would probably give it maybe like a 4 out of 5, 3.9 out of 5. It was about this woman that was in a mental institution, and she got in there because she was being accused for murdering her husband. But since the accident happened, like since the murder happened, she's been silent like ever since. Like, it happened like 6 years before, and she hasn't spoken a word. Even throughout the trial, like, she didn't say anything. Then there's the psychiatrist that comes in, and he really wants to understand her. He really wants to help her. He really wants to like get her to talk, and it's good. Don't Let Her Stay by Nicola Sanders. That one was good. I would give this one probably again, like another 3.8 out of 5, 3.9. This book was about this married couple. The husband had a daughter before they got married with somebody else, so her stepdaughter, and her stepdaughter came back to live with them for a little while, and stepdaughter was just nasty. Like, she was just mean, and it's like you try to figure out like why she was like this, and it was good. This next book I find very interesting, okay? I read Verity by Colleen Hoover. This book was being raved about on TikTok. Absolutely raved about. I've heard so many people talk about it. I've heard so many people talk about Colleen Hoover in general and all of her books. This is the only Colleen Hoover book that I've read. And I will say, maybe it has something to do with the hype, but I was really disappointed in this book. It was about this wife, and she was like bedridden, and she couldn't speak, couldn't move, couldn't anything after she got into this accident. She was an author. They hired like a ghostwriter to write another one of her books. I didn't like the ending. I will say that. Like, I didn't like the ending. Like, you know, when some books kind of like have you like thinking at the end, it was one of those where it kind of just left you thinking, and like, I just want answers. Like, I went through this whole book, I read this whole book, I did the work, and I want the answers. I would give Verity like a 3.5 out of 5. Next book I read was Does It Hurt by H.D. Carlton. I went into it thinking that it was a psychological thriller, and it wasn't. So I think that kind of like swayed how I felt about the novel. It was giving so much more erotica than anything else, and I was sitting there like, hey, I want to know who done it. Like, I want to know who done it. And there was just so many like spicy scenes that were like really spicy. Okay, if you're looking for erotica, spicy, dark romance kind of vibe, Does It Hurt? I would recommend. But it was just, there was too much spice going on and not enough who done it. Like, I was just trying to figure it out, and then it was like, oh my gosh, another spicy scene. Every time we progressed in the book and I was gonna find out who done it, another spicy scene. And like, they weren't like short spicy scenes, like they were like whole chapters, like very long. So like, I found myself towards the end like actually even like skipping through like pages, because I'm just like, okay, respectfully, they're just having sex right now, and I don't know what happens. So I would say if you're looking for a spicy read, definitely recommend. It was a good read, but it just wasn't giving me that psychological thriller that I was looking for. I would give Does It Hurt a... It's hard. Like, if you're looking for a spicy read, I would give it like a 4.3 out of 5. If you're looking for psychological thriller, we're gonna drop down to like a 3 out of 5. The next book I read was another Frida McFadden book. It was The Housemaid. I would give that novel a 4.9 out of 5. It was just about this husband and wife. They hired a housemaid. The housemaid ends up like catching feelings for the husband. The wife is nasty and mean, and you have to try to figure out like why she is the way that she is. And I'm gonna leave it at that. 4.9 out of 5. Another Frida McFadden book, The Coworker. Kind of self-explanatory. It was about this coworker that went missing, and you got to figure out who done it. I would give that one a 3.8 out of 5. Never Run by Blake Pierce. I did not really love this novel. I felt like it was a little too linear for me. So I would probably give Never Run a 3.2 out of 5. Whew. The next book I read, this was me stepping outside of my comfort zone, but not really knowing. My friend Nicole, who also gave me this really freaking cute crew neck that I'm wearing today, she sent me a hard copy of this book, and I'm like, okay, this book has to be good if she's sending it to me. So I started reading it, the hard copy, and I was getting into it, so I ended up downloading it on my Kindle, because like I said, I'm a Kindle girl now. Like, I need my book on my Kindle so I can read it when I roll over at 4 a.m. That's exactly what I was doing with this book. I think I finished it in about 2 days. So this book is called The 7 Husbands of Evelyn Hugo, and it's by Taylor Jenkins Reid. It's like inspiring. It's kind of like I wouldn't say feminist, but like girl power. Like, it makes you... It's basically about this really, really well-known actress, how she became an actress, how she became one of the biggest actresses in Hollywood, and like what she had to do to get there. And like it says in the title, she had 7 husbands. Like, why did she have 7 husbands? That's all I'm going to say about it, but I'm going to say it's really, really, really good. I would give it a 5 out of 5. It makes you want to like chase your dreams. It makes you want to like put yourself first, and I don't know, really good. 5 out of 5. After that, I read Never Lie by Frida McFadden. This one was really good. This one was about a psychiatrist that went missing. They were like in her home, and they found a whole bunch of like cassettes because she's been recording all of her sessions with her clients, and basically finding out, is she alive? Is she dead? Just basically finding out like who she was talking to, and like what her life was like days leading up to her disappearance. And now I'm on One by One, also by Frida McFadden. This book so far is pretty good. I would say it's like not as engaging as like all of her other novels that I've read, but it's still really good. It's about a group of 6 people, 3 couples, go out into a forest for a week. They're going to be staying in a cabin. they end up getting lost. You can use your imagination from there. Like basically things start happening and it's like, who done it? I'm not done that yet, but I'm 57% done, and I will let you guys know my rating of it when it's done. That trip to the mall was semi-anticlimactic. I didn't even show you guys some of the like Christmas-y decor. Well, there's that. We got a little snowman and a Christmas tree back here. Look how cute the fireplace is. Even the kitchen's got some like, I love these. So cute, so cute. We got some Christmassy stuff in the bathroom as well. Let me show you my favorite little spot. It looks better at night, but I'll still show you. Because how cute is this little window ledge area? But yeah, that is, oh, there's something in my eye. That is all for this week. I will see you guys next week. Bye.